Hello, Detroit, and welcome to the Hook Podcast. I'm your host, Keith Butler, with my other hosts, Jeff Lowe and Leland Stein. Love this music, y'all.
Oh, man, I do too.
Love this music.
It's got a good groove.
We're back here again, as always, at the Six Holes Studio. You know, it's right outside the Detroit Golf Club. That's thus the Six Hole Studio. We're on the Six Hole, so it's a beautiful day out here. A few golfers. Trying to get those last swings in, as we talked about.
Before it gets too cold. And
well, it's getting there.
Yeah, we are in Michigan. It is October.
And it's October.
Yeah.
The leaves are starting to change. I'm thinking about driving back up north to my place and, catch the leaves. It's a pretty drive this time of year.
Yeah, I see one tree is almost changed out here.
Yeah, but when you're going up north, man, you're on the highway, the colors, all the trees just orange, yellow, some green, some red. The evergreens are still keeping that color, but all the leafy trees are changing, orange, red. It's just beautiful.
I bet it is.
Yeah, my mom that was one of her favorite times of year to go up, was during the season, the changing of the leaves, the color of the leaves. But I got a question to propose to you guys, Stein, Lowe. We got a election coming up in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the thing is, my question is America ready for a female president? I mean, I think we could have had one with Hillary, but, they nitpicked with her and got her on some small internet thing, which I think was, trumped up.
That same question was asked, was America ready for a black president?
Yeah. But, and are we ready for another black president? Are we ready for a female president? I mean, there are other countries that have female leaders, Barbados,
Angela Merkel,
Honduras,
Germany, a hardcore country. Margaret Thatcher in London.
The Marshall Islands, Mexico, Peru, Tanzania. These countries have female leaders. Are we, the greatest so-called nation in the world, ready for
We're the only ones
a female? Yeah.
And that's something.
So is it time? And are we ready for a black female president? Not just a female president, but a black female. We've already had a black male president. Are we?
And that turned everything backwards. Once he got in, everybody lost their mind.
Yeah.
Our white brothers went nuts.
Yeah.
Thus Trump.
But I think he did a good job. He represented the United States well. He pulled in a lot of support, and the allies were on board because he knew how to deal with people. Is Kamala Harris that type of leader? Can she do the same? And are we ready for it? I mean, I'm ready for it.
Well, Trump was calling it ignorant.
I'm ready for it, too.
And unfortunately, people that don't read
I know what I'm not ready for.
Right?
I know what I'm not ready for.
That she was the attorney general, the first female attorney general in
San Francisco,
California.
That's right.
Now, you got to do San Francisco. I'm talking about the state.
No, I'm just saying where the area she
the
was
state
from.
of California is bigger than about almost 90% of the countries in the world. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
Economically wise and money. And she was the attorney general there, first female vice president. All her accomplishments are being minimized. It's the same way they did with Hillary.
Yep.
Hillary was Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a senator.
And got beat by a TV personality. Got defeated by a TV personality, a clown.
And I think we were talking about the internet earlier.
A clown.
And I think, he is a clown. But I think Hillary was the first victim of the internet misinformation. It had just started with the Tea Party and all that stuff, because they come up with a group every year to just disrupt the world. And the Tea Party was that group back then. And they got one now. There's always one of them somewhere. But see,
what is the
internet
now?
Destroyed her. The MAGA. Oh, that's the same nonsense.
We don't want to talk about that.
No, he's just making a point.
I know.
Sometimes when you make a point, you got to talk about it.
We are ready for a black female leader in this country.
Why do you think that?
I think actually, well, who else is there right now that can take this country to the next level and get the support of the rest of the world? When I look at who's in the running.
Ain't but two.
You're the opposition.
That's it.
Is it right?
But I think
Him or her?
I think
Gotta be her.
but
Because
it-
he's
it-
a fucked up ass leader.
but it's like what Stein was saying.
He is fucked up.
Okay, Lo. I know we on
I'm sorry.
internet and all, but
Excuse me.
there are some.
Go ahead.
Hopefully, there some young people listening, and even though
Pardon.
I know I cuss like a sailor and might slip, I'll get you.
That slipped out.
But it's like Stein was saying, I think earlier. We need to observe, via credentials. We've got somebody who has worked her way up through law school.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's become politically astute, who's held positions of political power
Yes.
in one of the biggest states in our country,
Right.
several of them, who walks and talks politics, who's lived and dwelled in the political arena all her professional career. This isn't something she just started because she's been doing this all her career. Once she got out of school, she
Right.
was a lawyer. What is this?
She was a senator.
Senator. So and then on the
How
other
many
hand,
black female senators have they been?
I don't know.
Great question.
But on the
Carol
other
Moseley
hand,
Brown was one. That might be the only one.
was the
I don't
other
know.
young lady, Crockett? Is Crockett
I think
Congresswoman?
she's a congresswoman.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's the one.
But
She's a bad
she's a
girl.
bad sister.
In case y'all don't know, we got a girl out here. She a lawyer. She be bring, and she's a Texan, and she down there fighting the nonsense. We all know Texas, poor Texas.
But see,
they
now
just so sorry.
But so
Oh,
we
my
have to
God.
look at: do we want a felon, like she said, or a prosecutor? Do we want somebody who understands the laws of the land, who has worked with the laws of the land, or do we want somebody who's put on a TV show? What was it, The Apprentice and all that other good?
Oh,
So
God.
for your entertainment, do we need another entertainer? We had Ronald Reagan.
That didn't work. Right? Quiet as
We
kept.
we got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He didn't do that bad of a
American
job
history.
as president.
Oh,
though,
he was
man.
the worst ever.
the
whole.
we had Arnold Schwarzenegger in
Down.
California.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the governor of California.
Do we need more actors?
No.
Now, I'm the first to say sometimes we need to get out of the political arena and do something different. But in this case, no. Hell no. No. Because we all know what the reason is, why he's running, what the purpose is, and what is at stake. We're not just talking about losing, certain civil
Liberties.
civil liberties.
Yeah.
You're talking about women who. I was at my doctor's office the other day. Yeah, I guess yesterday, the day before, and after we went through my my exams and so forth like that, we got to talking. She flipped it to politics, and she said she was scared. And I said, yeah. She said, they turned over, Roe, and she said, I was in a situation. Now this is my doctor, female doctor. She said I was in a situation a few months ago where a lady had to have an abortion. She came in at, I think she said under 5 weeks because she needed this abortion. It was almost life-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it took, with all the red tape, it took till up to 17 weeks
Wow.
before they could perform this abortion. And the lady almost lost her life. But the thing is she and the other doctors, they were all panicky. Because now, if a doctor performs an abortion,
Jail.
you lose your license, you can't practice anymore, and your butt's going to jail. And I can send you to jail if I find out that you did
Not only the doctor, but also the lady,
the lady, the mother
the mother
who did
right.
the abortion.
Look, we
So-
2024, and we got men dictating
Yeah.
to
No,
our
you got-
population.
You got
What
politics
is good?
dictating.
Well, white males,
Right.
white male, and
But they
those
only do
black
it because
people-
it's a political issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
because they don't
government-
believe
shouldn't
none of
be
that
a
stuff.
political
It's
issue.
any person with money and with means, if they need an abortion, they're going to get them. It only affects us little people down
And
here
that's
in
what
the
I
first
told-
place.
that's what
But the
told her.
government
So
should
it's
have
ridiculous.
nothing to do with a woman's body.
Well, that I
Yeah,
kinda
because you
agree.
know what? Because if it was up to us, if if it's something had to do with my my personal, my privates, I wouldn't let a woman or dictate that.
I wouldn't let government
dictate that. And if it was, if men had government sitting up there saying, "Okay, we're going to control your genitals. We're going to control your genitals."
Okay, we have to cut off one of your balls.
You think January 6th was a
You can't do that.
You think January 6th was a problem? Let government tell men that we're going to control your genitals, whether you can keep them
have to remove
or whether
one.
we're going to cut one.
We're gonna lock them up so you can't use
And
them.
we're going to freeze the other one.
We would burn the United States to the ground.
You're going to freeze one?
The United States
Put a little
would be
cage on
burnt
it,
to the
so
ground.
You can't use it unless we tell you.
So, with that said, with all this mess
But it's
going
the
on,
medieval days. Remember, they used to do that to women.
Oh, yeah.
They used to put them metal chastity belts.
Oh, well,
In the medieval days,
there was
man.
a time. There was a time in Africa.
Craziness.
There was a time in Africa where some tribes would actually cut off a female child's clit, so she wouldn't,
Reproduce.
No, she produced, but she wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be. It would be more
For the business.
for the business of birth
Right.
as opposed to business of pleasure.
Right.
But so with all that said, I know we drifted off like we do from time to time, but I think that whether we're ready or not for a female president, this is the time we need
It is a time.
to have this woman as president, because we can't afford another term of Trump.
No, we can't do
Because if we all know if he gets in, Kamala, Clinton, and Crockett, no other woman is going to ever get another chance to run for the highest office in the government, because he is never going to leave. There was a time,
how we going to get him out?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Remember FDR, I think he's the only president who ran 3 terms. And I think they were trying to get him to run a 4th term.
Yeah, but he refused.
And he refused. And
So
that's
did
when they
George
put
Bush.
in terms of limitation.
Right, they
He
did.
said presidents should only be allowed to run for 2 terms.
Right.
And if Trump gets in, he's going to reverse that.
Oh, yeah, he will.
He will reverse that.
He's already tried it.
Yeah. The last
See, by
time.
disrupting the process.
So are we ready
the
for a
voting
female
process.
president? Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely
Yeah.
ready. Are you ready, Jeff?
Yes, I'm ready for a female president.
Well, hopefully, a lot of our brothers and sisters
Because
and everybody else
look what he
will
already
wake up
did
and
with
smell
Roe
the
versus
coffee.
Wade.
Yeah.
And we really don't have a choice.
We don't.
No, it's no
That's just
choice.
facts. Now, I don't want to hear no more nonsense, black, white, green, orange, all that nonsense. We have an individual here that's on something different in American history.
On something
And,
different.
yeah, because, he might be a white man.
He on some all
But
kind of
he's on something else. He's kind of old school Hitler dictator kind of thing. How did that happen in the United States of America? And they were so stupid. They put together, like you mentioned earlier, Project 2025, where they laid out how they're going to get rid of the Department of Education and break down of the Justice Department. They've already, here's one of America's biggest problems, is the Supreme Court. Now, I know we're talking about them, but
He's already appointed.
the only reason why the
3
Supreme
judges.
Court is that's one of the biggest tragedies in American history. But they're there for life so that they will vote the consciousness of the law, right?
But see,
You won't be beholden to a party. So you're there for life. So you get in there and you're hoping you get religion. You're like, oh, I'm here for life. Oh, wow. I'm going to really be a lawyer. Well, let me do some real lawyering and look at every case come before me in the true sense of the spirit of the case.
but
and
you
not
know the problem
political
with the
side.
Supreme Court? You know what the big
They only
problem?
vote political lines now.
Problem with
insane. It doesn't
the
even
problem
need
with
to
the
exist.
Supreme Court is that they're human, and all humans think emotionally, with their
But
heart.
that's okay, but you can't be a
can't
party
be
line,
unbiased. You have to be unbiased as a Supreme Court justice. But it's like going to court and saying strike that from the record. I've already heard it, so it's already affected what I'm thinking. The jury will strike that last comment from the records. Well, okay, it's not on records, but it's in my head.
Well, that's the way Trump plays on that kind of stuff.
And that's the problem with the Supreme Court.
Right.
I mean, I could dig 10 years. I could dig 15, but a lifetime?
No.
No.
Not now.
I mean, you're
Not
in there
now.
till you're 90 years old.
Not
and
now.
You, and you thinking about stuff that you did when you were a kid. You grew up in the Deep South, and Negroes weren't allowed to vote or go to school with you. And now you in here
But
making
unfortunately,
decisions
the
on
younger
education
ones
and
that
civil rights.
Trump
Right.
put it on,
No.
ain't old.
In 2024.
And they horrible.
And
The
and
woman
another
too.
thing, and another thing is, if you're the president and you put me in, guess what I owe you?
You don't owe nobody nothing to Supreme
But
Court.
guess what? I owe you favors. You got me a lifetime job
Appointment.
All
So
the
lifetime.
I owe
Supreme
you.
Court
Oh,
has been
a
appointed
lifetime
by the
appointment.
president and ratified by the Senate. So that has always happened. But the point is, the mood and the thought of the justices back then were different. With Trump, it's to become a straight division now. You're
Well,
not.
it's
You
not just
can't
with the
vote.
Supreme Court. It's with the United States. Period.
Well, now, yes, the whole thing, but now it's affected the Supreme Court to where we need to sit down and talk about addressing the Supreme Court.
Yeah, we need
if
to
America's
we
going to
need
move
to change.
forward,
We need to change.
yeah,
that.
like well, let's say 10 years, 15 years, that's it. Yeah,
After that,
enough
get
of
out.
this nonsense.
Get
man.
out.
If you're gonna get in there and vote party line,
Yeah.
then now you need to get voted in there. Then.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do this,
Yeah.
you know, and right now it's
And
just
that's a
tragic.
good point. Instead of getting appointed,
Yeah.
because chances are you're gonna vote party lines
Right,
regardless.
right.
You know, whether you're supposed to go in
But
unbiased
they
or
didn't
not.
used to do that.
Well, I'm sure they did at some
No,
point.
no, not like you're doing
You
it
know,
now.
we don't know, but
yeah,
I'm
we
sure.
can. You go back and
I'm
look at
sure.
history. They vote. You can see the votes cast as public record. They voted across lines throughout pretty much the history of the country
I would
until
hope so.
recently,
Yeah.
and it's really sad. You know, I mean, look at what the Republicans did. See, that's why the Democrats have to fight so hard they can't win. Because when you got a person that's willing to cheat and lie,
Yeah, I was about to say
then it's
that.
hard to fight that.
See,
Because
the
they've
demos,
already
we
cheated
try to
and
play
lied.
fair.
Like you said, they done put it out there in the universe now. Now you got to prove what they said was a lie. You got to have people believe it. So we stuck in a defense mode, seem like at all times, you know, dealing with the Republicans. Because who keeps sperm on the dress for a year?
Well, we ain't gonna talk about
No,
that.
but I'm just saying
but
the
look-
evilness of it all.
but
Here's my last point, though. I'm just saying they do stuff like with Obama. They said, well, you only got a year left in your term, so the Republicans in the Supreme.
Yeah, we're gonna wait before you can.
Yeah, before he
allow-
could put the
Can you
and
put
they
a
ramrod this lady in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And they sat in front of the whole country and said,
but
said
Stein-
that. Then they went back and did.
But Stein,
the Democrats never do stuff
this
like
is
that.
why we need
That's
to
why we
get.
can't win.
This is why we need to
We
get
ain't
her
brutal.
in office.
Right.
This is why
Well, we
I'm
gotta do
asking.
something.
We have got to figure out how we can prepare ourselves to be ready for a female president. Are we ready? From what you're saying, hell no. But we've got to find a way to get ourselves prepared mentally for this woman to become president.
And we're not
We
just
got-
speaking to
and
black-
brothers, I'm telling y'all, I hear a lot of
That-
mess
black
about
men.
black men not voting for this woman. A black woman raised you. A black woman gave
Talk
birth
to
to
me.
you. A black woman
Talk to
nurtured
me.
you.
Come on
Whether
now.
you date a white woman or not.
Preach.
Whether you
Preach.
date an Asian woman or not. Whether you date a West Indian or not. A black woman gave you life. I'm not saying Kamala is perfect. No. But she's way better. Kamala's not perfect, but she's way better than Mr. Trump. And you
And
better
who
think
is
about it.
perfect? We all shall
Nobody's
fall
perfect.
short of the glory of God.
Nobody's perfect. And you
So
better
you look at
decide
what's in front of you.
what's best for you, your children, and your children's children. Because if Trump gets in office, everything's going to go back to like 1755.
we'll have to fight all
We're going
over
to go
again.
back so far, it's ridiculous. When Kamala Harris says we're not going back, she's got an ideal of looking forward, not going back. Donald Trump wants to hold us in a state of
Confusion and disarray, because that's how he lives. You know, it's
And
not
prejudice and division.
Yes,
We don't need that.
We don't need it.
So I ask,
This country's come too far.
are we ready for a woman president?
Too far.
Yes.
Are we ready for a
We are
black woman
ready
president?
for
I
a
think we all
black
need to say it
woman
in
president.
unison. Are we ready for a black woman president?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we? Well, the bottom line is, are we ready for anybody but Donald Trump? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll say that in unison too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm ready, man. First of all, you nailed it, man. You know, my mama, my grandma, my aunts.
I don't care who you marry,
They
who you
was great
date,
people,
but
man.
you got to
You
consider
know,
who brought you
I
in.
ain't never thought of women as less anyway, so that's always been confusing to
And
me.
see, that's a good thing.
My brain has never went there. Well, I said I couldn't vote for a woman. I wouldn't elect a woman. I don't even understand the concept. But I know men. Because, you know how we get, especially when you caught up in certain environments, you know, you got to be hard and, you the man,
And we don't want a woman telling us what to
Right,
do.
exactly.
And could you imagine her being at the top and she's dropping down orders to all these subordinate men?
Let's put that aside. Let's put it aside now, and let's look at this in a very not political. Let's look at this in a realistic form. What we want, what we need, what Kamala. I'm sorry.
Just say Miss Harris, Mrs. Harris.
Mrs. Harris. Mrs. Harris. Well, Mrs.
You have
Harris.
to slap it next time.
Give me a Will
Both of us.
Smith.
You get the left side, I get the right side.
Mrs. Harris can do the job, and we know that she can do the job. She's been doing the job in other places, like we stated earlier. We know who can do this job the right way. Let's make it happen.
She's a human.
America,
She's
let's
got
make
a
it
human
happen.
soul and spirit.
Yes.
She's funny. You gotta like her. She laughs, she dances, she lives.
Yeah, and she makes you feel like when you listen to her and her rhetoric, I didn't mean rhetoric. It sounds like she's being honest. She has hope for the future.
Yeah.
It sounds like she really cares about the United States, about the people.
Everybody.
It sounds like, not just black women,
Right.
not just black men, not just the black culture, the black race. It sounds like she generally cares about everyone.
Well, yeah, y'all can laugh
Not
at
just
her
herself.
about the transvestite because they run that commercial.
That's-
But the point is,
that's just a
they're
scare tactic.
humans, as far as she's
Yes,
saying.
they are.
She said just there's some humanity, that's all.
And look,
she wasn't going to spend America's budget on no transvestites.
Yeah, well,
Stop running commercials like that. 'Cause it ain't true.
This woman was vice
It's just not
president.
true.
She was vice president. We know she could do the job. She sat
Well,
in
they
the
try to
seat.
blame all the inflation and the prices on her. But see, the price. See, that's what bothers me so much. People aren't informed. Where we are, the supply chain got dissipated, right? So as a result, once we brought ourselves out of the COVID situation, then we had to somehow try to resupply the supply chain.
But if you
But
look,
when there's less stuff, it always costs more.
I was
That's
about to
just
say
the way
that.
it is.
I was about to say, when you
It
go
ain't got
to
nothing
a
to do
store,
with them or anybody. It's just something we had to go through as a country and a world. The whole world
and
went
we're
through
still
this.
trying to recover
We're
from it.
still trying to recover.
I went to Myers the other day with my
Stop
sister.
it.
My sister and I went to
Blaming
Myers.
people for all this stuff.
We went to
It's
Myers
just
the
not
other day,
true.
and though Myers is a huge store, a lot of the shelves look sparse,
Empty.
Not empty, but they didn't look as full as they used to be. And like I used to tell May all the time, I'll say, this place looks like a bodega. Old bodega, you go in, the cat sitting on the bread. They got 3 cans of beans here, a loaf, a bag of potato chips. The whole shelf is damn near empty, except about 7 or 8 things. And so every store, every market I go into, for the most part, you can tell, it's almost like you want to say, when are you getting your next shipment in? Because you're low on bread, you're low on milk, you're low on eggs. And eggs are $7 a price.
Right.
A half a dozen. Whose fault is that?
You know,
That's
it's
not
funny.
ours. It's like
It's
you
the
said.
corporation's fault.
It's like you
'Cause
said.
they
When
believe
it's
in
less
supply and demand.
stuff,
That's the
when
capitalist system.
Yeah,
It
when
ain't the president and them doing that.
when it's less food to bring in,
Right.
it's going to cost more.
It costs more. That's
You
just
know?
it.
So that's just the nature of the game.
It is the nature of
I
the
don't
game.
I don't even think Trump said let's hike up prices. I don't know, maybe he did. But I'm just saying, I agree with you on 100%, Stein, when there's a higher demand and there's less product, hey, I'll give you $5 for this. I'll give you 6. I'll give you 7.
exactly
Okay,
what
well, hey,
happened.
bring it on in.
Highest bidder.
Who's got the highest?
No, I couldn't even get sriracha sauce for a while.
Yeah.
Because Trump started that war with China.
See?
Now that's another thing we got to stop that. Because, unfortunately, the Republicans always have to have an enemy. They'll create an enemy if it ain't one there. Now, China,
That's an interesting
y'all
point.
could be mad at them for whatever you want to believe, but the fact of the matter is that one country has the most people in the world. If they were as imperialistic and as warmongering as the Western Europeans were, they'd have took over the world by now. Or they'd be fighting everybody. Think about it. In my lifetime, I've never seen them take over a country, go in there like we've done in Afghanistan and a number of other places. China has never done any of that. Now, what they did do when we went in there and fought
Economically.
Vietnam. Now, we was right on their border, and we was shooting, carrying on. They were, oh, we got to support these guys. But they gave them arms. Same thing with the Koreans. But that's in their back. Look what we did. We're going to start a nuclear war because they was going to put some weapons right 90 miles down there in Cuba.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, they
But we could go
they had to ship there.
over there and sit in their backyard and start wars and expect them not to respond.
Yeah.
But if you really look at China, they've never been that country that's been imperialistic, that has taken over other countries.
Right.
Or not
Now-
modern time.
No, not even in the old days. They
Oh,
didn't
they
really
were
do it.
freaking
Well,
No,
but-
but they wasn't going around the globe taking
You know,
over stuff.
as
They
we
were taking
as we
away.
watch
Not the
that,
whole globe,
you
but
look
they
at who they
wiping out
partner with.
Southeast
Also,
Asia.
Yeah.
you know, they partner
But they
with
even in Montana,
Russia,
they
and
never
they
done that. That's
well,
nonsense.
are they partnered? Are they partnering with Russia?
Them and Russia border
Yeah.
half of the whole Asian continent, so they have to deal with them.
Okay.
Period. They don't have a choice. That sucker stretch from the end of Eastern Europe all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Russia does. That's all at the bottom of China.
Uh-huh.
And they start in Western Europe. China don't start in Western Europe. They start in Eastern Europe, right? You know, after Kazakhstan and all that. But Russia's way over here next to Poland.
You know what? This is some knowledge being dropped on y'all, folk. Y'all better listen. Drop that knowledge,
Well, I'm
Stein.
just saying they ain't our enemies. They just aren't. You know, I mean, they took all the trust. They taking doing the manufacturing, but it's our companies that went over there and took it to them. They didn't come over here with a gun and say, "America, come over here and set up some plants in my country, or I'm gonna kill you," because it didn't happen that way. So it ain't China. So China, Trump and them creating an enemy. Let the sleeping giants lie.
And if
They ain't messing with us. Just
and if it
leave
gets
them
in there,
alone.
if it gets in there, it's gonna continue. So we do need Mrs. Harris
Yes.
to come on in here and straighten this business out. And you know, the thing about the presidency, people, we have to understand is it's just like any job, like a coach's job. We got to give them a little bit of time.
Yes.
We got to give them a few minutes to sit down, figure out the game plans. Once they're in there,
Make
they're going to tell you
appointments.
everything they want to do.
Yeah.
But once you get into a position, you come up with obstacles and people who don't want to work with you, and it's going to take a
Well,
minute.
that's what happened to Obama.
That's what happens to
The
everybody,
Senate and the House destroyed it.
Yeah,
man. He
especially
couldn't get
the-
a bill through.
especially
Couldn't
Democrats.
pass nothing.
Right.
Especially Democrats. We have got to give them, Mrs. Harris, Kamala Harris, some time to get things organized, to work with the Democrats, to work with the Republicans, and to get them to come together and understand that it's not about me, it's about us. And so I think she is the person who can do this far better and far more efficient than D. Trump.
And it's not just your presidential vote that matters. It's also
local.
your local
my
vote
God.
too.
State and
Yes.
federal, too.
Yes.
I mean, well, state, yeah.
Yes.
Your local, your state vote. Get out to the polls. The other day, I'm watching a news channel. I forgot which one, but anyway,
Georgia had 200,000.
That's what I was. They got out strong. They were strong.
You know why? Because they only have one polling place here. You got to stand in line
It was
in
in the
Georgia
country,
for like
you know?
2 hours, man. Same thing in Texas.
Wait, they got one?
They cold. What,
They got one?
what 1 or 2 here and there. I mean, they all like far
They got
apart.
more than that.
Okay.
But I know what you mean. They don't have a whole lot.
No.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
trying
I
to make
mean,
it
like
difficult.
One overall.
They trying to make it
have made
difficult.
You
Yeah.
ain't seen the film?
Yeah, I've seen it.
People stand in line. They didn't want to give them water because they hope they get out of line and won't vote. I mean, it's
300,000
pretty insane.
voted early.
Yeah.
Well,
But they didn't
I
want
got
people
my
to
vote in.
early.
Did you
Remember?
guys vote yet? I got mine in.
I haven't got mine in yet.
I'm going to go down.
Man, I vote absentee and mine's been in. I filled mine out and sent it in. You know, I'm
Where'd
not
you go
gonna-
to Secretary of State?
No, they send it to your
They
house.
send it to you.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
And
fill it out.
you just tell them you want to vote absentee, and you don't have to go stand in lines. And I haven't stood in lines in years, man.
I know my mom was voting absentee.
You know,
20 years.
Yeah, I did it a couple years ago because I
Sure
missed
did.
I forgot to get my ballot in. I mean, a couple elections ago. But for the most part, man, for years I've been doing
Well, you see
absentee.
Republicans try to kick out absentee
Yeah,
ballots.
yeah. Well, you know why? Because that means then chances are you'll be less likely to get your butt up
That's
and
exactly
go down
right.
to the polls.
Exactly.
See, I mean, I would, But a lot of people are getting too old to do it.
Yes, they are.
And they're hoping that the older folk won't. So anyway,
That's true.
we out of time again,
Good
y'all.
point, good point.
And like I said, Kamala Harris is, for
Vote,
me,
please.
I think we are ready for a female president,
We ready.
white or black.
We're ready.
And you are
Are
getting.
you ready?
Yes,
I'm ready.
Oh, Lord
For
have mercy.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
For Kamala Harris.
To be
Right
president.
now.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Thank you all very much for listening to us again. We went out with a chorus
Vote,
here.
please.
And you all have a good time. Don't forget to vote and vote
Please.
smart. Not just federal, but local as well.
Local,
Because
please.
everything helps. So we'll talk to you again. Have a great day. Make sure you vote. We can't express it enough. Vote, vote, vote. This is Keith Butler with Jeffrey Lowe and Leland Stein. We'll talk to you later.
Vote.